Hi everyone, my name is Richard Santoro and I welcome you to Third and Zen, the YouTube channel where every week I'm sharing a spiritual message to nourish ourselves, heart, mind, body, and soul. First, as always, thank you so much for stopping by the channel. Thanks for checking out this video. I hope this video finds you doing well. I hope you're taking the time to care for yourself, heart, mind, body, and soul. If you feel like liking the video, subscribing, sharing, all that fun social media, YouTube-y stuff, I would appreciate it. But either way, again, thanks for being here. With that being said, wherever you are right now, I'm going to invite you to take a nice deep breath. Take a moment and just breathe. Just signal to the brain that it is time to relax, time to settle, time to soften. Maybe soften your posture, loosen your shoulders, or any tension that you might be holding in your brow, your face, your jaw. And just be for a moment. Give yourself maybe a little bit of gratitude for allowing yourself a moment to stop, to care for yourself, to just be. And let's get started with today's message, shall we? So I was thinking about the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and one of Marvel's shows from a year or two ago, a show entitled What If? And it's a pretty well-worn concept where they take characters from their Marvel Cinematic Universe and put them in scenarios saying, what if? What if this happened? What if it went in this direction? What if that happened? And they change up the stories that we're familiar with. And I was just thinking about that concept of what if, and then I piggybacked on top of that and thought I wanted to make a message shaped in that way. And it went in a couple of directions. And I was thinking about the fact that that concept of what if is also an approach that Jesus took. All great, optimistic, thoughtful, change-provoking minds do take an approach of what if. What if we look at the world through a lens, a what-if lens, and as Jesus tried to do, get us to alter our lives in a way, alter our lives with God, alter our lives with each other and with the world around us and within ourselves as well. So just bring it back to Marvel and that the fact that while the Marvel stuff is obviously made up, it's based on comic book characters, the concepts of Jesus and the optimism of what if is real. And I wanted to put that into motion a little bit. Now, in addition to that, and I'll get to the heart of the message in a moment, I was thinking about what if I approached something in particular differently. And, that's something that I wanted to approach differently. Oftentimes, I mentioned that somebody once went up to Jesus and said, what is the most important commandment? And Jesus said it is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul. And here's the key, to love your neighbor as yourself. Now, I always, in all the years I've been focusing on that, and in church settings and ministry, at the pulpit and here on this channel, I do focus on loving God. And I do heavily focus on loving our neighbor. But have I touched on the loving yourself part? What if I touched on the concept of loving ourselves more? What if I did that? And last side note before I really get into this, I was also thinking recently, I did a message, I think based on when I dropped these videos, the previous message, and I'll move into the sun a little bit because I like it. I was thinking about the message I did on throwing stones. Let you without sin cast the first stone. And I really started to think about social justice, which I often heavily focused on, as Jesus was. And I was going to look at that throwing stones message, and I was going to double down on that and do a part 2 where I discuss how, we might not literally stone people in today's day and age, but there are Pharisee-like mobs today that are doing their own version of throwing stones at the weak, at the vulnerable, at transgender individuals, at immigrants and migrants. And then the Spirit stopped me and said, let's move on to something different. Let's move on more to encouraging us to love ourselves. So the Spirit pivoted me away from that. Now, I remember once in Bible study, years ago, when I was really starting out my adult journey in church, in a Bible study, we were looking at that passage, love your neighbor as yourself, and a gentleman, really wonderful, sweet, thoughtful individual, said something that I'll never forget. We were talking about that concept, love your neighbor as yourself, and when talking about that, he said, what if we don't love ourselves very much? And that was a profound moment in that moment, and it's always stuck with me, as you can see here. We're going on 20 plus years ago this was said, but it stuck with me. So, getting to the heart of it. Thank you for indulging that little introduction. I wanted to talk, what today if today we focused more on the second part of that command, love your neighbor as yourself. What if we focused on love? What if we focused on loving ourselves? We need to love ourselves more. So I'd like to focus on that what if today. What if? What if we loved ourselves? What if we loved ourselves more? What if we took yearly stock of how we are doing as seriously as we take yearly stock of our income taxes? What if we made Kumbaya's line, someone needs you, Lord? What if we made that about ourselves? What if we took the mantra from another hymn, it's me, it's me, it's me, O Lord, standing in the need of prayer, and made that a mantra for ourselves in our prayer journey? What if we remembered that it's okay to pray for ourselves? For, as the great William O'Malley said in the wonderful book, God, the Oldest Question, in reference to praying for ourselves, O'Malley says, the best of us, meaning Jesus, did it in the Garden of Gethsemane, as in he prayed for himself. What if we normalized, and I just want to reiterate, this is all about what if we loved ourselves? What if we loved ourselves more? What if we normalized saying no and being totally okay with that? No to doing things that we don't want to do. No to going places we don't want to go. And saying yes to staying home and doing what we want to do. And again, not doing what we don't want to do. What if we normalized making no a completely acceptable answer? To that point, what if we also normalized making it totally okay to set healthy and needed boundaries? What if we normalized regular wellness visits for ourselves with all of the medical, psychological, and spiritual caregivers, professionals and such, caring for our holistic and overall wellness, and with diligence and with action and priority? What if we did our best to make a regular priority of having quiet time and or prayer and meditation time, or just plain old me time, time with whatever we have a need for, and regularly set time aside in our day, in our week, in our month, in our daily lives? What if we took things off of our to-do list while also caring about a don't-do list, limiting ourselves or curbing ourselves from putting too much on our plate, and also learning from and being proactive about not doing the things that weigh us down or spread us too thin or stress us out or just aren't good for us and our overall well-being? What if we exercised that type of love for ourselves? What if we allowed ourselves distance from unhealthy, toxic, damaging relationships? Again, boundaries. What if we loved ourselves enough to do that? What if we were mindful and attentive about who we surround ourselves with? What if we did our best to have healthy self-talk, whether it's verbal or what we think of in our mind, and a healthy internal monologue, self-talk, a la affirmations or loving kindness meditations. In doing so, we start to rewire our brains and how we feel about ourselves and how our mindset functions. What if we took time in nature? What if we were mindful about just stepping outside, not even having to trek out into nature and go to nature spots, but what if we just stepped outside and were present with whatever nature surrounds us? What if we took the time to go for a walk, even in a small way, small walks in whatever way we're physically capable and able? What if we took the time to stretch regularly, care for our bodies in that way? What if we took a deep breath often, frequently, mindfully? What if we sought to be more mindful and slow down, be more mindful, and be present, loving ourselves in that way? What if we limited our time with technology, limited our time being on social media, and limited our news intake? And to that point, what if we were mindful about who and where we get our... I love it. So again, as I was saying, what if we were more mindful and diligent about where we get our information from, our sources, our news sources, our resources? What if we were more mindful about the voices that we allow to whisper in our ear? What if we were more mindful about our biases, our cognitive dissonances, our blind spots, and so on? What if we were more honest with ourselves about those things? What if we were more honest with ourselves in general, as a practice, as a habit? It'd be nice to love ourselves in that way. What if we loved ourselves more in that way? What if we took the time, the energy, the effort to eat healthy, to eat healthier, to eat healthy and regular meals, and to stay hydrated, and to stay nourished in a really healthy way? What if we prioritized sleep in all of the best ways, whether it's going to sleep at proper times or taking naps if need be, but getting enough healthy sleep and having a healthy sleep cycle? What if we prioritized that? What if we listened to our body? What if we took the time to relax, to rest, to sincerely and truly rest, heart, mind, body, and soul, deep rest or simple rest? What if we took the time to rest? What if we made leisure and fun a priority for ourselves? What if we made it a genuine priority to take breaks? Short breaks, longer breaks. What if we set aside time every day, or a day every month, and a week or more every year? What if we set aside these times for good things? Rejuvenation, rest, revitalization, rest, reflection, rest. What if we set aside that time regularly? What if we took time to read, or to watch a movie, or a show that we love, or go to a play or the theater, or some other form of art or the arts? What if we took the time to be creative in whatever way we happen to be moved, and in whatever way we want to try, whether it's something that we are good at, or we would like to try to be good at? What if we set aside time and energy and effort to be creative, whether it's painting, writing, journaling, cooking, gardening, singing, learning something new, simply for the self-benefit and the reward and the fulfillment of it? What if we allowed ourselves the benefit of asking for help when we need it? What if we allowed ourselves the benefit of simply telling someone that we aren't doing well and we're having a moment, even just sending up a smoke signal, an SOS? I'm not doing well. What if we did that for ourselves? What if we allowed others to help us, to love us, to hold space for us, to share space with us and care for us, and doing so without feeling guilty or feeling like a burden, but rather doing it knowing that we are deserving of that love and that care from others? What if we made practicing gratitude a priority? Being mindful of all things in our everyday moments, big and small, with a countenance and an aura of gratitude, which also helps rewire our brain and our focus in a very healthy way. So whether it's either an internal monologue, an acknowledgement of gratitude, or going as far as a gratitude journal, or saying prayers of gratitude every morning, night, throughout the day, an attitude of gratitude. What if we did that? What if we, again, as I alluded to before, made it a goal to learn new things, new skills, new knowledge, new insights, new philosophies, new outlooks? What if we made it a goal to volunteer in some way, however we're capable, and in whatever our situation allows, volunteering in a way so that it's not just the end goal of helping others, which is always the end goal of volunteering, but to help ourselves with giving ourselves a sense that comes from volunteering, a sense of fulfillment, a sense of purpose. That's okay. We're allowed to do that. What if we, to that point of fulfillment and purpose, what if we made it a genuine priority at all times to explore what gives us as individuals, what gives you, what gives us fulfillment and purpose, to explore what moves and what excites our soul, as the poet Rumi would say, and to be more proactive in finding what these things are that move our soul, that excite us, and making it, whatever it may be, a priority, and help it come to fruition, and help it become a present reality within our lives for us. What if we did our best to be more patient with ourselves, more forgiving with ourselves, and more understanding with ourselves? And this is all wrapped up in loving ourselves more, obviously. What if we allowed ourselves more grace, or just grace in general, grace and care? What if we allowed ourselves the grace and the care to remove shame, guilt, and other burdens that we might be carrying within our hearts, our minds, and our souls? What if we allowed ourselves the grace to make mistakes, to not be perfect, to not hit the mark every time? What if we actively accepted and embraced our flaws, our foibles, our eccentricities, our uniqueness? What if we actively accepted ourselves, period, plain and simple? What if we stopped comparing ourselves to others, our lives, our looks, our image, our this, our that? What if we made it a priority to care for our insecurities, our low self-esteem, our poor body image issues, our poor self-image issues, or any other unhealthy self-related issues that deserve love? What if we took the time and the energy and the effort and the love to love ourselves and care for those parts of us? What if we actively gave ourselves compliments? What if we actively listed positive things about ourselves and focused on that with energy, with gratitude, with acknowledgement? What if we actively made it a priority to care for our past and or our present traumas, our past or present pain that we carry? What if we actively took part in some form of therapy? What if we actively went to doctors, medical professionals, caring for whatever we need to be cared for? What if we forgave ourselves in the everyday, daily journey moments as the need arises, and also for the things, as I alluded to before, the things of our past that keep us chained to guilt? What if we forgave ourselves, period? What if we allowed ourselves to feel our feelings, all of the feelings, the full broad spectrum of them that are natural and innate within all of us? What if we allowed ourselves to feel our feelings without issue, holding space for each feeling and emotion with love, feeling each emotion and each feeling naturally, and letting them all take their course? What if we actively and proactively cared for our needs, all of them, every single one of them, with legitimate priority and energy and love? What if we made nourishing ourselves, heart, mind, body, and soul, a major daily and weekly and constant journey-filled priority? What if we constantly told ourselves and reminded ourselves and drilled it into ourselves that we are worthy of all this, everything I just mentioned, that we are worthy of love all the time from ourselves and from other people, that we are worthy of it all, over and over again, drilling it into ourselves that we are worthy of all of it? What if we constantly told ourselves and reminded ourselves and drilled it into ourselves that we are so darn valuable and lovely and beautiful and awesome and special, and that we are a gift to this world and a gift, period, and we are to be loved. We deserve love. What if we loved ourselves more? What if we love ourselves, period, unabashedly and unapologetically and unwaveringly? What if we loved ourselves enough to do any of this that I have mentioned, or all of this, or any of the acts of love we can do for ourselves that I haven't listed, the plethora and multitude of ways that we can and ought to love ourselves? What if we did that? What if we loved ourselves enough to do that? What if we did any or all of this, and in turn, it helps us love ourselves even more? What if each of us took just one of these what ifs, or more, hopefully, I encourage us, and made them a reality for ourselves? And perhaps for others, for someone else too. But what if we took just one of these and made it a reality for ourselves? What if? What would that look like? Can you picture that for yourself? Did any jump out? Did any move your soul and say, I need to do that for myself? What if? What if you did that? What if we loved ourselves more? What if we loved ourselves more? What if? Thanks be to God. Amen. Okay, my friends, again, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for checking out today's video. I hope in some way, shape, or form that you found this video fruitful for you and your journey. I hope it was a good reminder that yes, we are called to love God with all our heart, mind, body, and soul. And yes, we are called to love our neighbor, but also yes, we are called to love ourselves. So please, love yourself. Remember that you are worthy of love. I love you. Thanks be to God. Amen. Have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great journey. Go in fellowship with God. Go. Have fun. Be loved. Amen. Take care. Ciao, ciao.